Hi, I'm taking this video just to highlight what I believe is a substantial fault with the Breville BES-920. I bought it as part of the Dynamic Duo, so it came with the grinder and the machine. I'm actually using an older grinder here, the previous smart grinder, but the issue is with the machine. It says in the manual, and the reason why I bought this machine was because the manual indicates that this machine has volumetric control. So many of you watching this will understand that volumetric means if you set it to a 30 ml extraction, it doesn't matter if it comes out fast or slow, it's still going to be 30 mils. So we set it as a volumetric function. So I've found though in using this machine that it doesn't seem to do that. So I'm just going to highlight the process that I used to show that it actually doesn't measure volumetrically. So to start with, what I did was made sure I programmed the machine to volumetric by turning it off, pressing the 1 cup button and the power simultaneously, which takes me into the advanced programming menu. And then by going up or down, I can move until I get to volume. Into the menu, and it already says flow, and my other option is seconds, which is time-based. So back to flow, pressing menu, that is now set to volumetric. Once I've done that, I've weighed out a precise amount of beans, and this is what's actually let me confirm that what I've always thought is actually that the volume is not consistent. I've weighed out 18 grams of beans, and I'm going to grind that with the grinder here. And all I'm going to do is the first extraction here is going to be set, the first grind is set, it's right up here, which seems quite coarse, but I've actually put the shims in there with the Breville provides the shim kit for this, and so this is quite a fine grind. So I'm going to grind that and then I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so that's ground. I'm just going to tamp that coffee now to get it the right. Now, according to Breville, if you use this trimming tool, I often, to be honest, haven't used it, but you know they say that it should be just below the level of the coffee, and you know, it's pretty much perfect. So that 18 grams of coffee that I used for this basket is about right. It's a Rancilio basket, it's not one of the genuine ones, but I have also had the same issue with the genuine baskets. So with that in place, I will weigh one of the cups and just set that to 0. Put that in here, and I'll be using the double shot, which I originally set this to, what was it, 40 mils. Anyway, so I've got a 10-second pre-infusion time, which has just gone through. My pressure level is fairly good, 9.5. You know, 10 is really the most you can get on this machine, and I would call that a reasonably good extraction. So what I'm going to do after this is change the grind setting to a much coarser setting so we can see the volume. We're looking for volume here, so I don't really care about the time, but to me 40 seconds would be a good time because that's a 30-second extraction plus my 10-second of pre-infusion. So that is 45-second extraction, and back on my scale, so we're looking at almost a 70 mil output. So if that's programmed to 70 mils, that means my next test should be identical. So what I'm going to do is do the same test. I'm just going to show you that I've got the same amount of beans. So, okay, I'm a bean short. I better add one more just to make sure that it's perfectly the same. Okay, so that's fine. And I'm going to do exactly the same process, but this time I'm going to turn the grinder up substantially so that this time you would expect, even though the timing will change and it'll be a different timed extraction, the volume coming out should be identical. So I'll grind this up and then I'll show you the same amount of coffee, 18 grams. It's a coarser grind. The trimming tool, it's literally just there where the edge of the tool is, so I'm happy with the level of that. So we'll put that in now. Weigh our cup, and go again. To be honest, I didn't make that much change with the screen here. Like, I only went from the middle of the espresso up to there, which is not a huge amount, but I can see already it's flowing much faster. Our pressure here is only, 7.5 bars. The timing, I guarantee, will be much shorter. And see, before I had look, that's half a cup of coffee coming out there. I mean, that's definitely not volumetrically based. And when we weigh it, we've got 86 grams, okay? So that's a huge difference before, and so therefore is not flow basing this shot. It's time basing, or who knows what it is. So that's the problem. So I've been logging this problem for the last couple of days, and I'm recording each of the shots and the volume timings. And even just this morning, I've done 4 shots, and within that time frame, had differences that range between 57 mils and 88 mils for the shots, which is a large difference for something that's supposed to be volumetrically programmed, and they should be identical. So yeah, as you can see, that's what I consider a fairly major fault. I've just been talking with Breville, who were going to get it looked at. I'm not sure that they'll actually find any problem with it, because most people, to be honest, wouldn't even notice this unless you're measuring the shot precisely like that. But I know I've got, my brother's got the same machine, and I guarantee I've seen he has the same problem. Not that we've measured it or tested it yet, but we could do the same thing. And my friends have the same machine as well. And I believe I've seen on the same thing on there, that it doesn't seem to be flow-based and volumetrically controlled. And yet, for me, that's the main reason I bought the machine, so that if it doesn't work, that makes it actually, a real disappointment. So anyway, maybe someone will find this information useful in regard to considering buying the Breville BES-920 machine, because definitely don't buy it for the fact that it says it's volumetric, because it's definitely not. Anyway, hope you have a good day. See you later.